Um, it's kind of weird. The whole movie has like just a little bit of structure. It starts out with this found footage of a person in the back rooms. I think it was called Async, the company that they work for. And then later in the whole movie, they it like cuts to this Captain Clark guy. He owns like a furniture store called Captain Clark Furniture or whatever. Ottoman Empire, actually. So after like that gets all settled in, they he goes to his therapist and he talks about his wife being gone and they broke up and he got kicked out of his own house. It's pretty weird. So they do this like exercise where the therapist pretends to be his wife, and then he gets all mad and like yells at her saying that why don't you get off your fat get off your fat butt and go help me out instead of doing all this law school crap. So it like really shows him like being like he blames everything on the people around him and not on himself for doing it. So then after that he goes back to his store. He lives at his store. He doesn't have a house or anything. So he lives at his store and then he watches TV, he drinks booze, then the whole entire his store like keeps flickering. He has overdue bills. So after the store, like he's watching TV, the TV turns off. Then after the TV turns off, it like shows the back rooms basically. It shows like found footage and then it cuts off. Then it doesn't turn back on and then it cuts to him going into the basement and finding the breaker or whatever. So he goes and looks at the breaker and he like turns off all the lights, but the lights don't turn off in his store. So after that, oh, there's people walking, but yeah, after that he starts walking away from the breaker. Oh, there's more people. But yeah, he starts walking away from the breaker, and that's pretty weird. You can probably see them. They're right there. They're probably gonna look at me. But they're walking to the breaker. He walks away from the breaker, and then he looks to his left, and then he sees like a light through his wall, and which kind of doesn't make any sense because the wall is solid, kinda. So he walks up to the light through his wall, and then he just puts his hand on it. His hand, he falls through, and then he goes out. He makes sure he can go out the same way he got in. Then he goes back in. He looks around for a bit. He sees like this weird thing, and it's playing like some stuff in a different language. I think I heard French and Japanese, but yeah. After that, he goes into this like little crawl space and he finds a bag of one of the employees, and then he goes back and then he goes to his employees. No, he goes to his therapist first, and then he talks about how he found this new like location under his store, and yeah. So then he goes to his employees. They have a camera. That's how he films his commercials. So then he goes to his employee's apartment. They both live together. They both have the same job. So then he asks, "Hey, can you guys come record this stuff for me? I need some evidence for my therapist." So he goes in with his employees. I forgot the guy's name, but the girl's name is Kat. The guy we're gonna name Bob. So Bob has his camera, and Bob's recording Clark go into the back rooms, and then Kat's very hesitant of Bob going in. So Bob goes into the place, and then he's like, "Oh crap! What the heck what is all this? Do you own this stuff? Is this part of the store?" Then Clark's like, oh, I haven't found the person who owned it yet. So then, as the movie progresses, they get deeper into the back rooms. Bob, spoiler alert, Bob dies. Bob gets like swept away by this entity. It doesn't get shown, but he gets swept away. And then Kat and Clark get basically pushed down the same hole that Bob went down. And then after that, he goes deeper into the back rooms, and Kat gets killed, I'm pretty sure, but it's off scene, it's off camera. And then Clark gets deeper and deeper into the back rooms, and at this point he's been in there for days, and he somehow contacts his therapist saying that he found the open window. He opened his window or whatever, like his window mind. And then his therapist goes to the store and looks for him, and then she goes into the back rooms, and then she gets tied down by Clark. Clark finds her, says that she's being too loud. He strangles her, and then he ties her up in a chair, and then is like, "You're being too loud." And then they go through that whole exercise again, and then she starts calling Clark out and all of his bull crap, saying that it's all your fault. You keep blaming it on everyone. You blame it on, well, you lose your house, you blame your wife. You lose the store, you blame the world. And yeah, stuff like that. And then he calls him a dip crap. Man, why am I censoring myself? Calls him a dipshit. So then, after that, he starts to untire. He gets one arm. Then he starts explaining that like everything in the back rooms is basically like misremembered in some sort of way. So something's always off about it. So like, I'm pretty sure I think it's Clark's wife, but Clark's wife is in the room, in the corner. Then the entities in the back rooms can't feel anything. So it's kind of weird. So Clark says that, yeah, you can eat him. Yep, you can eat him. And he starts like grabbing this person's belly and then starts putting it on the plates in front of them. Yeah, it's weird. And then after that, while he's letting the therapist go, his wife basically runs away across the room to the corner, and then we got this guy in a chair turning off and on the light while another like Clark comes in. He's massive, and it's just weird. This new Clark is massive, and then he basically kills Clark by eating him. I don't know if you've seen Jujutsu Kaisen or anything, or read the manga, but whenever Sukuna tricks Hana and like bites her shoulder, that's basically what the entity did to Clark. So then after that, the therapist starts running around the back rooms and gets away from this Clark entity. And then after that, she stumbles upon one of the async people that like study the back rooms. So the movie ends after like I don't really know. It's just weird. It's just a weird movie. It ends basically after it misremembers her being there talking to the guy, and it's like shows like her as an entity like sitting in the chair. But I'd say the movie is just it's not really scary per se. It has jump scares here and there. You're not gonna get scared by those jump scares unless you're a toddler and you just woke up out of a dream. Just woke up out of a dream. But yeah, the movie it's fine, I guess. You can go watch it if you want. I'm not the one that's gonna put these thoughts in your mind when you go watch it, but yeah, that's about it. See ya.